Alright, welcome back, guys. How have you been? How have you been? Sorry that I couldn't stream on Tuesday. Okay, there we go. How have you been, ladies and gentlemen? It's been. Oh my god, this is incredible. This time it recorded the amount of sound that I actually configured. Well, crazy how this game. It must be tied to the save files. Didn't know that. Oh well. We discovered something new. How have you been, people? How have you been? Yes, we are here in the final section, the final world of iNinja that we reached last time. Now, I honestly don't know how to go back. Ah yeah, through here. Through here I go back to the mountain gorge. So last time we beat the boss over there, pretty much the best boss fight of the game, because it didn't actually change the genre. It was kind of like a classic boss fight with me controlling the ninja, and we actually rescued the protagonist's sister. She's also a ninja, in case you're wondering. And, well, pretty much I thought that was the end of it, that we could fight the final boss. But no, there was one more world. Now, the biggest question here is, will they require us to have a black belt in order to proceed to the final boss fight? Or we just need to beat the levels? If we require a black belt, we'll have to backtrack a bit, because as you can see, we are lacking 4 coins, which are kind of like the 4 ninja coins, which are kind of like the stars in Super Mario 64, just so you have a quick reference. And as far as I can tell, there are only 3 levels, so no sweat. We'll just have to backtrack a bit, and we'll just have to backtrack a bit. Let's try this level. Backtrack a bit and.
Goes deep into the moon rock, and let me tell you, it's dark and scary and full of spiky things. You go first.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, gotta go. See ya.
Sure. Alright, these are the final levels. This is kind of like the enemy base at this point, so. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty good music. This is pretty much the finale, people. I hope we can beat the game today. There we go. I'm a bit rusty. It's been a week after all. And before we get immersed into the game, we get immersed in the game and all of its glory, I just wanted to announce that during the summer, as soon as we finish the game and I analyze it, damn it, they are getting faster. There we go. That was pretty much unavoidable. Damn it. I hate it when you do that. This new black sword is pretty good. Before we get immersed into the game, I just wanted to announce that you will have more YouTube uploads during the summer. You will have more YouTube uploads during the summer, just without. As soon as we finish iNinja, pretty much as soon as we finish iNinja, I'll continue uploading VODs to the YouTube channel, but without the camera, kind of like without my face and without me talking for the summer. It'll be just it's the summer for me, just for me. In the southern hemisphere, like for Argentina, Australia, and all of the southern cone of the earth. It's the summer, and we typically have summer holidays here in precisely in December, January, and February. I know it must sound pretty weird to you because most of my audience, most of you are from the northern hemisphere, so it must sound pretty weird, but that's the case. Summer holidays, so I enjoy the summer holidays. But don't worry, because while you won't see my pretty face, you'll be able to watch all of the things that I have, some of the things that I play generally kind of like on my own. And basically, I'll show you plenty of games that that I play on my own. I promise they'll be pretty obscure and interesting for you to explore and watch my playthroughs. It'll be just a month. It'll be just a month, as we usually do. I do this every year. And yes, basically, up until January, you'll see some bots, but without my face and without me talking, right? So do not panic if that happens. That's a pretty crazy jump, pretty well executed, pretty well developed by the developers, in fact. Pretty ingeniously created by the developers. So yeah, pretty much. Today's December 14th, so more or less up until January 16th, right? So it'll be exactly a month. Enjoy your holidays with your loved ones and your families. So I'll do just that. But in the meantime, yeah, we've got a fight here. And in the meantime, don't worry, if you miss me, you'll have some interesting gameplays that I'll upload. Because I know this will sound weird, but I have plenty of games that pretty much don't require me, that I've specifically selected that don't require me talking for you to enjoy them. Trust me. For example, I have a lot of arena-based FPS games that I wanted to showcase that I never showcase because I generally want to stream games that have at least a minimum of story, but and so I don't stream those. For example, I have just so you have an example, because you must be wondering what kind of games what games is he talking about? What games is he talking about? For example, just so you have a reference, I have a lot of versus. I use a reverse engineered copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because the official servers are closed. In case you don't know, there are some custom fan servers, but I'd rather have my own offline one. And I have a version of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and I play, for example, Zombies mode, a lot of games with endless mode, Zombies mode, which is endless, for example. But I also have matches against bots, and watching them, I realize that some of the matches are pretty interesting. So don't worry, because you'll have at least a weekly upload during the summer holidays for me, winter holidays for you. So yeah, pretty much. You'll have at least a weekly upload, and then on January 16 I'll be back, and you'll be able to once again see my beautiful face. So, damn it. Oh, you have to be kidding me. I didn't know there was a dark hole down there. God damn it. God damn it. I didn't expect that. That was shitty. Yep, terrible. Terrible. I had beaten this guy. God damn it. Ah, good. I thought we were about to restart the level. Yeah, it was not fair, honestly. How was I supposed to know that I could fall off a cliff right there? So yeah, pretty much. Zombies mode, online multiplayer matches against the AI in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, for example. I wanted to showcase that for some time. I have an interest. I also have a lot of, as I've said, and just like that one, I have a lot of games with, let's say, reverse engineered servers that I never cover because they are just matches that I assume people mostly won't care about because there's no story, there are no single player games, and pretty much they cannot access those games. So that's pretty much the idea. For example, I have a modded version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the one released by Electronic Arts recently. I also have the original one modded as well, but I have that one with, for example, with a modded, and I can bypass the 8, I think it was 8 or 10, I don't remember correctly. I can bypass the limit of 10 bots per offline match, right? So what a scammy decision by Electronic Arts. Kind of like they wanted to do that just because the original Battlefront, they were afraid that people wouldn't play the game online. Alright, let's try not to fall again. That's a pretty shitty jump. Let's try not to fall, though the camera doesn't help. Oof. Interesting jump there. For example, Age of Empires 1. Age of Empires 1 is a game that comes to mind that is perfect. Like, I beat the whole game. That one I'm not gonna showcase you that one because I already completed it. But basically, I completed that game kind of like 100% on hard mode difficulty, which is a huge challenge. In case you haven't noticed, in case you don't know, because the definitive edition of Age of Empires 1 is the AI is pretty good. I think it's broken actually, because some of the levels are simply crazy. And yes. And yes, for example, I thought that one was a missed opportunity. That while most people, most of the general audience of YouTube and Twitch wouldn't care about it, some of you guys may enjoy it. It was kind of like I basically beat all of Age of Empires 1 Definitive Edition on very hard difficulty, which is, after I completed it, I said, hey, this took me a month. It's a real challenge. So it's a really tough challenge. So yeah, I thought like that one. I have a lot of those, kind of like not recorded, but that I played during the summer as well. So I have some of them recorded and some of them that I played during the summer. So yeah, pretty much. I said these are worth uploading. I'm sure someone will enjoy them. So yeah, pretty much you'll have plenty of those pretty crazy things. This time not even a single one of them hit me. Hey, I love this level, it's so classic, kind of like kill one enemy after the other. By the way, last time we got our black blade, as you can see here. I still don't have my black belt, but I do have my black blade. So yes, pretty much. Don't worry, because over at YouTube you'll have I'll continue to upload a lot of games that I've been wanting to showcase for quite some time. So don't worry, you'll just not see my face. You'll just won't see my face and me talking. Maybe some of you are actually thankful for that, but no, I'm joking. I know you like my comments. But well, doesn't matter. So yeah, don't you worry, and they'll be pretty interesting. So stay tuned and then we need to do an updated version of the Ultimate 3DS collection. I need to remember that. I need to remember that to do an updated version of the Ultimate 3DS collection. You will be surprised to know that the one that I have uploaded right now, I'm just trying to choose the format because this time I want to show some gameplay. And yeah, pretty much. Last time it was kind of like just me talking without you even seeing my face, so yeah. I'll change the format. It'll take some time. So yeah. Perfect. We're only 3 levels away from our black belt. Alright, so let's see. That was a pretty fun level. And we have another one here, I presume. Outpost Alpha. Well, the other one was Outpost Beta, so...
This is one of Odo's defensive outposts. You're on his turf now, and he isn't happy about it. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, Ninja. They're too small. Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, pretty much. That's on one hand. Don't worry, there will be YouTube uploads during the summer. For me, the summer. I know that for you it's the winter. So sorry in case I feel sorry for you if you'll experience the cold winter of the northern hemisphere right now. It happens to all of us. It will happen to me in July and August. It's exactly the opposite, yes. So yeah, pretty much. Well. I feel sorry. Try to enjoy the winter, I guess, however you can. But well, you'll have my uploads during your winter and my summer. Yeah, that's on one hand. On the second hand, on the other hand, damn it. I don't know if you've been watching the news, if you've been following gaming news lately. I don't know if you've been following gaming news, but Some sad news have sadly come up for the gaming industry. I bet you'll remember it. I bet you'll remember E3. But 2 days ago, it was finally confirmed that was extremely lucky. Well, I actually tried to calculate it, I guess, but well. 2 days ago, it was confirmed that E3 has officially died forever. Kind of like the biggest celebration in the history of gaming, the most important one. It was amazing. For a lot of us, I was reading comments over at YouTube of several gaming channels like IGN or GameSpot or GamesRadar, the typical gaming magazines. Let's say back in the 90s they were magazines, if I remember correctly. Like I don't have any more. Okay. Crazy jump. Okay. And yes, pretty much I was reading the comments, and a lot of people continuously mentioned, myself included, that our dreams were to actually someday. Can you attack here? Oh, no, it's okay, You are not meant to use that. Our dream was basically to someday physically attend E3. Yes, it was a dream of pretty much every gamer ever. Like, no, damn it. What the? At the beginning? No, that's brutal. That's way too brutal. Yep, that's way too brutal. Damn it, that's brutal. So yeah, basically it was a dream of every gamer to attend physically, to attend E3 and basically witness its majestic to witness its majestic show, kind of like basically live, because and a lot of people don't understand that it was more than the reveal trailers and the gameplays and everything, because I see a lot of people that say that the Game Awards or whatever, or that it was not needed or whatever. Yes, E3 was definitely needed. It was an integral part of gaming history. It was like, this is a definition that I've seen a lot of people use, and I 100% agree with them. It was like Christmas for gamers, because E3 it's pretty much like that. That's the best definition. It's Christmas, but for people who play video games. Like, if you ever watched an E3, I watched pretty much most of them since 2015, 2014. Um, but they've been around since 1995. And originally, what most people don't understand is that E3 is more than the games and the reveal trailers. First of all, it's kind of like the last line of control that players have over big companies. Kind of like big companies used to um, adapt their release schedule to the E3. It was also a matter of personal honor because yes, if you've watched any E3, you know that there's something mystic about them, kind of like in the sense that okay, that's a pretty hard jump to perform, but we'll do it. There's something mystic about E3 because damn it, how am I supposed to do this jump? There's something mystic about it because it's incredible how the CEO of a company can basically lose their job, like what happened with Don Matrick back in 2013 when they unveiled the Xbox One and they said that it was gonna be kind of like online only, kind of like oof, hell of a jump. That's most probably the most difficult jump of this game. There we go. So yeah, it's incredible to see how the backlash, the live backlash of the audience, kind of like it was a degree of control that it was unseen. It is unseen in any other industry. Kind of like you don't get to see the creator of a movie or the director or whatever kind of like go to a convention. You never see them go to a convention and present their next project kind of like live on stage and receiving the backlash kind of like immediately, kind of like as if kind of like without any possibility of making any mistake. Like that was E3. It was a degree. It allowed the players to have a degree of control that other industries simply didn't have. Kind of like the backlash of the one that I've said, the backlash of the Xbox One back in 2013 being online only, and then I remember that I think that one was the worst case. Just so you have a very explicit reference, a very explicit reference, right? So, or for example, when Reggie said my body's ready when he presented the, not when he presented the Wii, but when he unveiled a lot of the Wii games and with the motion sensor and everything. There's no room for mistake. That's what the main idea of E3. That there was no room for any mistake, and so this is a dead end or what? Where am I supposed to go to? Like there was no room for mistake. There wasn't any room for mistakes, and yeah, pretty much. Don't tell me I have to go back there. Don't know why, but I have a hunch. I don't feel comfortable about doing this jump again. Besides that, also That one's also a dead end. What's the point here? Mm, Clearly this is the exit.
Ninja revive!
Clearly this is the exit. Because I'm being attacked from there. Question is, how do I open it? Ah, yeah, there. I have to beat the ninjas and then do the jump once again. Well, hope I don't. Fuck this one up. There we go. So, I'm extremely sad seeing that's, in fact, that's partially the reason why I didn't stream on. Why I didn't stream on. Ah, perhaps I have to destroy the door. Partially the reason why I didn't stream on Tuesday. Yeah, I had to destroy the door. Yep. That one was pretty interesting to deduce. How do you get that coin? Okay. Let's not fall. There we go. Much better. Clean shot. Yes. Save. Save spot. Checkpoint. There we go. So yes, I'm immensely sad that E3 is gone forever. Extremely sad. That shouldn't have happened. But, as you know, I generally always like to address the reason why E3 is no more. I blame completely, in case you want to find the culprit of who's responsible for E3 dying, the culprit is called Jeff Keighley. The culprit is called Jeff Keighley. He conspired against E3 from the very beginning, saying that it wasn't necessary, that should have never been even mentioned at all. E3 is 100% necessary, and now you'll see the consequences of it not taking place, because it's been some years in which, I mean, there wasn't any E3 back in 28 since the pandemic. In 2020, 2021, 2022, but Jeff Keighley kind of like took that opportunity to kind of like promote the Game Awards, that pile of shit that he does. He and all of the degenerates that participate in that pile of crap. Like, whoa. Damn it. Way too much. He took advantage of that, and and it was disgusting. Honestly disgusting. That in order to promote the Game Awards, which are a pile of shit. In fact, Baldur's Gate 3 won. It is a race, probably the worst game to ever be awarded a prize. Kind of like that game is such a prostitution of the original franchise. Like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are far superior to that pile of crap, which is actually Divinity Original Sin 3. It's not even Baldur's Gate. Hey, why do I have to talk to the sensei here?
Oh, hang on. See that big say?
Yeah, I got to know them pretty well. Fortunately, we just got a checkpoint. What the? There's no gravity. Well, I guess the sensei mentioned it. So, I'm meant to do these jumps without gravity. Careful, because if I... Careful, because if you take too much height, you can be sucked by the ones on top. There we go. So yeah, pretty sad. E3 was a celebration. It was a show. There were orchestras. It was a show of talent and a celebration of all gaming related things. In case you haven't experienced any, for the younger audience though. Though the other day I realized that fortunately most of my audience is kind of like above 30 years over at YouTube. Kind of like yes people, if you are watching this as a YouTube bot, know that the rest of the people that are watching it, the rest of the subscribers, they are all between 30 and 40. We are all old school and I'm proud of that. So you probably know about how epic, you'll agree with me on how epic E3 has been, and I hope it returns in the future. It's a pretty sad. These are pretty sad news. It had to do with not only a lot of people loved E3 for the memes, which is also a valid reason. But no, the most important part that no one is mentioning, besides being a spectacle, a show worth witnessing, is the fact that the E3 was something unique to the gaming industry. Kind of like, I don't know of any other industry in which the CEOs of the different companies are kind of like pitted against each other. And when I say pitted against each other, it's not a fanboy terminology, because it was literally like that. Kind of like they would normally not insult each other, but kind of like in a subtle way, indirectly, they would mock their rivals. I think that's unique to the gaming industry. This is a deja vu. I know, but there's a guard. There's a guard over there, so... Okay, this is getting interesting. Fortunately, there's a... Hey, is it me or there's more distance between... Oh wait, but I can do another jump? No, my bad. Alright, these ones are pretty hard. Zero gravity jumps. Nope. There we go. These are harder than what they look like. I miss my gravity, and now we are in trouble. Well, let's use it to practice. Alright. Let's try that again. Damn it. My bad. Fortunately, there's a checkpoint there. They are pretty tough. So, we jump, we hover, and it's kind of like frame perfect. Wait. This one was a bit easier, I guess. Yeah, the second the second one is the worst one. All right, and now we have a boss. Just what I needed. I need to be careful here. All right. I need to be careful with my health bar. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. No, no, no. Come on. I wish I had a bit more of HP, you know. You kind of like have to do this one perfectly. Oof. That one was close. Come on. Damn it. Almost there. Oof. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. I better use my shurikens here. This will... Damn it. Damn it. Alright, let's try that again. Now that I won't be sucked by those dark holes. Careful, the zero gravity ends there. Alright. So yes, I was saying, E3 was a celebration. It had to do with that, as I've said, no other industry has its CEOs kind of like, as I've said, pitted against each other, mocking each other like the gaming industry. If I had to blame some people, it would be, as I've said, Jeff Keighley with the Game Awards, that shitty show that is useless. That is totally useless. It cannot even begin to compare to the magnificency and the greatness of the E3, of a legendary E3. Secondly, I blame Phil Spencer and Xbox because of the fact that they kind of like destroyed that culture when they merged the Xbox ecosystem with Windows 10. Kind of like they ruined that competition by undermining the true and objective meaning of the word exclusive. And just so you don't think that I'm a fanboy, I also blame Sony. Not Sony. In that case, I blame Jim Ryan. We've had some pretty bad CEOs lately in the gaming industry. In the case of Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan, I honestly, in my case, my favorite was either Kaz Hirai in the case of PlayStation, Kaz Hirai, and I cannot remember the name of the first one of the original Xbox. Kaz Hirai and also Jack Tretton. Back during the PS3 era, Jack Tretton was also pretty good. Sean Lyden was okay. He wasn't bad at all. He wasn't a bad CEO at all. At all. Like the same for Yushei Yoshida at the beginning of the PS4. In the case of Nintendo, Reggie 10 out of 10. Of course, Miyamoto, Satoru Iwata. They all 10 out of 10. Nintendo has had the best CEOs ever. In the case of Xbox, the first one was good, but then Don Matrick started pretty good. Then with the Xbox One and the online only part, everything went to shit. Peter Moore was also. I think he didn't make it to CEO, but he came from Sega. He had a lot of experience. Peter Moore. So yeah, basically all of the crew during the original Xbox 360 era. The Xbox One era, Don Matrick had a terrible idea of making it online only, but not only that, then Phil Spencer made it worse. He literally made it worse. So yeah, pretty much. And all of these people that I'm mentioning, I know of their existence because of E3, due to the E3. Otherwise, we wouldn't know who are the ones responsible for making all of those decisions that we like or hate so much. For example, I know that Jim Ryan is basically the worst CEO that Sony has ever had. In the case of Nintendo, Nintendo has always had amazing CEOs. No issues there. No surprises there. Doug Bowser, he's not as good as Reggie Films. I'm kind of like Reggie is legendary. Reggie, the trio of Reggie, Satoru Iwata, and Miyamoto. There's a reason why Reggie and Iwata lasted kind of like 20 years as Iwata was the CEO and Reggie was kind of like the representative, let's say. He was the president of Nintendo America, let's say. And then Miyamoto, of course, the leader of the internal development departments of Nintendo. In that sense, Nintendo has been the most tidy and organized out of the three. Kind of like the CEOs have always been people who actually play video games, but not only that, people who have been developing games for, not in the case of Reggie, but Iwata and Miyamoto they have. For example, Iwata, there's a legend that, in case you don't know, Iwata died from cancer some years ago, right before the release of the Nintendo Switch and Space Station. This has to be the final boss, right? There were only 2 stations.
The Spinal Frontier. No, that doesn't sound right. Space. The Civil Engineer. Oh, getting old. Anyway, I got the launcher working. Fancy some space station action?
Sure, this could be the final boss, I guess.
Whatever.
Don't tell me this is the final boss. Or what? Moonbase. Hey, this could be the final boss, people. So yeah, as I was mentioning, sadly Wata passed away. He was... Oh, what was this? Another world. This is the final boss. Do I need to be a black belt? Probably. Yep. Let's see. Black belt? Now he will tell me that you need to be a gold belt or something like that.
Hello? Are you suicidal? This is Ogo's den. He is the judge, jury, and executioner here. If you go in there now, you won't come back in less than 37 bite-sized pieces. Only the skills of a black belt will prepare you. Alright. Black belt. And I need only 2 more, I guess. And these are 2 levels, I
Yes, perfect. Perfectly calculated. We need to beat these 2 levels and then the final boss. Good. This is a level, right? Imperial Guard. This looks like the end. Cryo Chamber. We'll try this one then. I'll have to go in order.
This cryo chamber breeds all of Odor's evil ranklings. Lay the smack on the crisis buttons and terminate his bloodline. Watch out for the blue Geno goo. It's a killer.
Sure. Let's do it. Perfect. So we'll get our black belt and immediately we'll face the final boss. These are the 2 final levels, people. We'll finish the game today. Good. 2 final levels. I must admit that this last section has been... Oh. This final section has been pretty good. What's that? There we go. So, here's where all of the ranks soldiers are created. Pretty good way of creating a cohesive ending to the story. Ah.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
I guess that includes us.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
I'm trying to do that. Oh boy.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
I guess that kills you in kind of like one
Personnel
blow.
should evacuate immediately.
I survived? Yep. Okay, pretty interesting design. So now I get off the platform, that sphere comes up, and I destroy,
Personnel should evacuate immediately.
and I run away.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
But this time I need to get farther. There's no save. Of course, there's no save. There's no checkpoint. There are no checkpoints. Okay, you have to do it kind of like old school. Damn it, pretty challenging. Good. This one is the easiest one, so we need to be organized. We'll destroy this one, which is the hardest. Hey, wait. I know, but they are respawn. Okay. I thought you could kind of like
Alert.
hit
All
the other
personnel
ones.
should evacuate immediately.
That you could somehow hit the other ones
All personnel should evacuate immediately.
without them respawning.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
Does that platform survive? No. Only this. Okay. So this is the exit. Alright, I will try this one then. What?
Alert.
Ah, it's
All
automatic.
personnel should evacuate immediately.
It's automatic.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
The camera doesn't help there. Ah, it's always the same. Okay, it's not that hard. Ah, but the soldiers don't die. I think it's this one. Nope. I feel stupid now. It's this one.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately. Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
But they don't die. I wonder if...
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
They don't die, people. They don't die. Okay. Only one left. Nice backslash.
Alert.
What the? I destroyed all of them.
Evacuate immediately. Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
I destroyed all of them, you know? Interesting. Do I have any shurikens? Darts? Ah. This is weird. I destroyed them all.
Alert.
All of the
All
glowy
personnel
yellow
should evacuate
bulbs.
immediately.
So yeah, basically I wanted to remember E3. It was legendary. And as I've said, the real reason is that... Oh wow. Again.
Alert. All
What's the meaning of
personnel
this?
should evacuate immediately.
Damn it.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately. Alert.
They respond.
Personnel should evacuate immediately.
So that's the exit.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately. Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
Interesting.
Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
So yes, I was mentioning E3. It was unique to the gaming industry. That's the unique, the special thing about it. That's the special thing about it. It was the other one.
Alert.
I hope I don't die because of
Should
this.
evacuate immediately.
No. This level. Alright, I need to focus. So yeah, basically, that's what I wanted to say about E3, because it was a special, it had a special place in our hearts, and it's totally sad, and I blame the ones that I mentioned. There's another one over there. It has two sets, okay. Alright, I get the point.
All personnel should evacuate immediately. Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
Let's see if I can do two.
Alert. All
No.
personnel should evacuate immediately.
No, you can't. You can't. Only one. First time. Okay, I had to try it. So yes, basically, we've had the worst CEOs ever during the 8th generation. Both Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer weren't, at least not my taste.
Evacuate immediately. Alert. All personnel should evacuate immediately.
Kind of like Jim Ryan
Alert.
said
All
that
personnel should evacuate
backwards
immediately.
compatibility was something that people asked for a lot, but it
Alert.
wasn't
All
needed.
personnel should evacuate
And in the case of
immediately.
Phil Spencer, as I've said, he undermined the true meaning of the word exclusive with their Windows 10 and Xbox shared ecosystem exclusive, so no. And well, in the case of Jim Ryan, then he followed Spencer's example
Alert.
and released a lot of
Personnel
games on
should
PC,
evacuate immediately.
of PlayStation exclusives on PC, for example.
Alert. All personnel
And just so you
should
know, I'm
evacuate
mostly,
immediately.
primarily a PC gamer, but I don't like it when consoles lose their identity like that. So yes, pretty sad news for all of us because E3 was more than a simple show. It was unique. It was unique, and it's sad that I read that there will be no more E3s. It was a celebration. It was like Christmas for the gaming industry. Let's get out of here. It's a pretty interesting concept for one of the final levels of the game. So yeah, pretty much absolutely sad news. And as I've said, the person to blame is definitely Jeff Keighley, the organizer of the Game Awards. I think those stupid awards will never be as good as E3. Not because of the memes, the crazy memes that E3 usually produce, but as I've said, it was something unique to the gaming industry, the fact that CEOs would mock each other is something kind of like unseen in any other industry. At least I don't remember, for example, the film industry. Imagine the creator, as I've said, the creator of a movie, or the director, or I don't know. Imagine Warner Bros, because at the end of the day they produce the movies, for example. Imagine Warner Bros in a subtle way, because it was always in a subtle way, mocking, for example, Disney, I don't know, or mocking Marvel. Imagine that. That's something that only happened in the gaming industry, and it was a control. A huge control that players had, because it forced companies, the E3 forced companies to tie the release schedule to that celebration. It was like Christmas for the gaming industry, and the Game Awards are certainly far from being Christmas for the gaming industry right now. They are like the Oscars. The E3 was like Christmas for the gaming industry. As I've said, I read a lot of comments in a lot of YouTube bots saying exactly this, that it was basically Christmas for the gaming industry. The dream of a lot of people, I include myself, there we go. There we go. I guess we have to survive now, once more. Yeah, it's right there. We need to survive once more. Is it going up? Oh, look at that. We are free to annihilate the ninjas. Good. We did it. Only one level away from the final boss, people. One level away. One more level. I wonder how that other guy looks like and what the gameplay mechanics will be. Because, as I've said, if this game has one incredible feature, is the fact that all of the bosses have different gameplay mechanics. Like, we've seen Punch-Out clones. The second boss, I think it was a Star Fox clone. Pretty much, it was an on-rails shooter. The first one was a Punch-Out clone. Perfect. The last one was a classic platforming boss. I think it was the best one. The commander of the army. There we go. We are only one coin away from our black belt and earning the right to get to the final boss, people. Okay. Here we go. Bye. The Imperial Guard. I wonder what this will be.
Can you smell that? That is the stench of Ogo's bodyguards. They are the last line of defense before you face the Emperor himself.
The Emperor.
Well, that's all clear to me.
This feels like Star Wars now. Oh, this is the Imperial Guard. Ah, hi ladies. No weapon. They have no weapons. Let's see what we can do. See, and nowadays feminists say that we didn't respect women back in the day. Look at this. So, third wave feminism is certainly the worst. Oh well. Ah, we also have hey, nice! I could split her in two. So why didn't the game use this enemy type before? It would have been a bit more challenging. Damn it. So, the game did have some enemy variety in the end. Alright, as long as I fight close to... There we go. Shoot your laser and... amazing. So yeah, pretty much sad about E3. As I've said, the ones that I blame, Jeff Keighley, he's one of the worst people in the gaming industry. Kind of like, he doesn't care about E3, he doesn't care about anything. He's kind of like, he only cares about himself. Like a fucking narcissist who also doesn't have talent, and yeah. And ruined pretty much Christmas for gamers, for everyone. We should call him the Grinch. We should call him the Grinch. Honestly, because because he wants to steal Christmas for gamers, and he did it. So yeah, pretty much. There we go. There we go. Now, through where? Jeff Keighley, the other people that I blame are the CEOs, Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer, for not defending E3. And then of course, the community itself. Sorry, but I have to say it. Not all of us, but there's a lot of degenerates who simply, for some weird reason, they didn't like the E3, and my bad. You cannot progress unless you clear the area. Nice hit. So yeah, pretty much we should have all defended E3, but the main culprit, the person responsible for the death of the E3 is Jeff Keighley. I'm saying this because the guy is right now on Twitter saying that he has nothing to do, that poor E3, that he's kind of like stomping the corpse, if you get what I mean. He's kind of like mocking the corpse of the E3. I just hope the E3 returns and that Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards go to shit. Honestly, I cannot say any other thing because it's an absolute lack of respect. Because as I've said to the players, because as I've said, alright, that platform has to be lowered. And this is a pretty short level. These were all pretty short levels, if you ask me. The best level design, but short. Alright. We have another batch of enemies. Ah, you can split them in half. Okay. Close. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Let's not waste the spheres. Oh. So yeah, pretty much. Pretty sad day for the gaming industry. Pretty sad. I mean, who didn't like the 3 besides Jeff Keighley? Only he didn't like it. Disgusting. Honestly disgusting. I've been in a bad mood because of that on Tuesday, so I said I cannot stream like that. I had to calm down and then stream once time. I was working when I read the news. I said, well, let's stop a moment to eat. Let's say I ate some. Well, you probably won't you won't get what they are. Some local Argentine desserts, kind of like. They're not deserts. They are called half moons. Just so you have a translation, pretty much half moons. They're kind of like basically floor with the shape of a half moon with kind of like honey. Pretty interesting. Oh.
But you are a killing machine. Here's your black belt.
Black belt, finally. Look at that. And look at that. In order to get the ultimate belt, you need to basically complete the other 30 levels that I'm not gonna complete, and I'm not gonna do a 100% completion of it. Alright, but this is enough to finish the game, which is what we're gonna do now. Emperor! It's time for you to meet your doom. We have a black belt, people. Finally, I've waited my whole life for this. What an honor to wear a black belt. So we have basically 38. You need 38 coins, and the game's total count is 64. So with a lot of effort, you can get the ultimate belt, but you can do it once you finish the game, I guess. Well, I mean, we are now all black. So, Emperor, you've killed our sensei. You've disgraced this land. Now, you'll face retribution. Emperor Odor. Actually, we killed the sensei, but well.
Step 1. Don't die. Step 3. What happened to step 2? Step 2. Ah, here it is. Good luck. Don't lose your head.
We'll beat it, sensei, and you'll be revived. You can also choose not to revive the sensei and become immortal. But no, we're gonna be good guys, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
We're gonna be good guys. Poor sensei. Emperor!
So you are a ninja who killed his own master and stole the Rage Stones. I have been expecting you.
Did he just fart? Did he just fart? This game is amazing. It's like Conquer Bad 4-Day all over again.
And you must be the fat gas bag who's been stinking out the town with your rancid beefy waffles.
I don't know why I was expecting an epic boss fight. Well, it will probably be epic, but with that touch of comedy that the game has always had.
I am the great Odor. Kneel before me, ninja dog.
I honestly was expecting some kind of samurai, not a space alien like this. Like he has a mustache made of they feel like like those like those custom built cooling systems that that modern PCs have like mine.
No thanks. You stink so bad I don't want to get any closer. You will eat those words, boy. Prepare to die.
All right, let's do it. Looks like a classic boss fight. Can I attack him? Straight up? Oh, good. It's a boss fight, kind of like... Alright, it's a classic boss fight, I guess. Let's see what we can do. Clearly we're not gonna win this first try, I guess. How are you supposed to evade that? Alright, only one hit. Like that. Oh, no. Wait. Ninja Berserker gives you some extra health and extra damage, I guess. Yeah, it'll be a pretty tough boss fight. There we go. Nope. Terrible idea. Good idea. Okay. So you have to stay close, wait for him to do his melee attack, and then you attack like that. And hope you don't get... Remember, the more hits I land, the more my... I think the more my... my Ninja Berserk fails, I guess. Damn it. That attack is pretty difficult to evade. I need to get the timing right. Am I getting damaged because of that attack? Not a lot. It's worth performing. I mean, I deal a lot of damage. Alright, that one I need to evade it. That one I need to evade it, definitely. But this... No, this one doesn't deal damage. Okay. We're good to go. That one doesn't deal damage. Okay. It's okay. This one is the dangerous one. This one... Okay, perfect. Good. You've farted on this land long enough. I'm sorry, we need to adapt to the dark humor of this game. Right, got my second Ninja Berserker. Damn it. Avoid.
I hope that you would be a challenge, but you are so weak. Your sensei must be spinning in his grave at your pathetic fighting skills. Stop wasting my time, ninja fool.
Phase 2, I guess? Oh. Phase 2. What on earth? This is pretty well done. We are in fucking space. Now this feels like Samurai Jack. Oh! Of course. No gravity. It would be pretty amusing if I died here. Careful, I'm a black belt now. Wow. This is pretty well done, huh? The zero gravity effect is pretty well done. The ending of the game is pretty well executed. Look at the background. So many 2D effects. It's actually all 2D. It's all in 2D, except for even the asteroids are in 2D. Everything is 2D except for the near elements that you see here, except for the platforms. Pretty well done. These were tricks that I always pay attention to. Back in the day, developers mixed those 2D backgrounds with 3D environments. Is there gravity here? Yeah, here there's gravity. Otherwise it was way too much. Same story. Good. Damn it. Good. Now, we are wondering, do we go back to phase 2? No. To phase 1? No, it's phase 2 from the beginning. The game is not that difficult in the end. Though it would have been that bad, because phase 1, as you could see, I did it first try. It wouldn't have been impossible otherwise, anyways, if you had to do phase 1 all over again. But yeah, the problem is that you would get to phase 2 without a lot of health, and yeah, I better focus before I lose all of my health like that, in such a stupid way. Alright. I don't know why, but I have a hunch there will be a phase 3. I may be wrong, but... Also, the soundtrack is pretty good. There's a rail though. Can I use it? Why is the final boss farting? Ah, you can rail. Good. We're not gonna do it. I don't need it. A hit landed, I believe. One of my hits landed. I just need to be careful with that attack. Yeah, they are landing. I think he has a better health bar. Damn it, why didn't you jump, you imbecile? That was pretty much unavoidable. Give me Berserker. I need to check my health bar. That one doesn't deal damage. That one still doesn't deal damage. Careful. That one doesn't deal damage. But the other one, this one. No, it doesn't deal damage. Doesn't deal damage. Okay. Pretty good boss fight. The right hand of Odor and Odor himself, they're pretty good boss fights. Ooh. Well, no, I cannot allow you to do that right now. No! Damn, that's the worst attack. I need to be careful with that one. There we go. We got Ninja Berserker. Pretty good. Damn it. Damn it. Let's see. I want him to do the melee attack. Damn it. He's calculating the attacks pretty well. Nice hit. Damn it. One of the hits landed. Damn it. No. Ninja Berserker deals extra damage, so I need to take advantage of that. Damn it. Yeah, when he uses the shuriken attack pretty close... What the... New attack! No! Damn it. There we go. Perfect. It's gonna be close. Good. No, you idiot. Stupid ledge. Almost there. We are one hit away. I don't know if there will be a phase 3, but this one is done. Yep, we won. Easy. Easy. Oh, we get a coin. Okay, doesn't matter. Perfect. This is the ending, people. Looks like this is it. Oh. He's T-posing. Why is he T-posing?
Ninja! It is done, my master. I have proven myself. Where is the Stone of Life? Must you always focus on what you do not have? Remember, a glass that is half empty is also half full. It sure would be nice to have that glass you keep talking about half full with the Stone of Life. You still have much to learn, my young student. There it is. My key to immortality. No one deserves this more than me. You showed such potential. Actions speak louder. As you once told me, Master, actions speak louder than words. Thank you. It is a great thing that cut that chit-chat, Gramps. With time, you will learn to... More lessons? You know, journeys like this usually lead to mastery. Patience is a virtue. Great. More pearls of wisdom. At least if I had taken the stone, I would have had eternal peace and quiet from your philosophical rambling. No, I would have haunted you.
Oh, whoa. Alright, I guess you can go back and fight an improved version of the boss if you complete the whole game, but they included the decent ending right there. I guess if you go and fight him again, you get another one and you get immortality. That well. Pretty well done. Pretty well done. I can skip the credits. Pretty well done. That was a cute warming ending, honestly. Pretty good that he revived the master. Pretty good. I won't be doing a final analysis of the game because of how simplistic some of the sections are. But yeah, we can say that in terms of a 3D platformer, well, how much time has it passed? 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, we can include a final analysis. You can include a short final analysis. Let's do it right now. Yeah, 1 hour. 1 hour is more than enough. I mean, most YouTube channels don't even include 1 hour analysis. So here we are used to quality, I guess. So yes, we can do one final analysis in 1 hour and yeah, because the ending was pretty good. Can't skip it. Amazing, amazing game, amazing game. Could have been better? Yes, definitely. There's a lot of recycling. If I had to highlight the negatives, if I had to highlight the positives, deep and complex gameplay system. But well, we'll get to it in a minute. As a summary, would I recommend you playing the game? If you like 3D platformers, especially if you like speed running, you'll probably enjoy it a lot because it has those extra 30 challenges of the same levels that for in the case of speedrunners you'll all probably love it. You'll all probably love it. For those who are looking for a more traditional 3D platforming experience, well, the game does a job. The game does a job. The game does a job in the sense that it definitely it definitely has quality in it, but yeah, pretty much. Pretty much it doesn't get to the quality of something like Super Mario 64, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Because as I've said, because of the fact that it needs more levels. The fact that they recycled the same levels so much, it's a sign that the game lacked content. But as for the rest, I loved the ending. I think it was pretty good. An ending of well, self-sacrifice is stretching it a bit because he was gonna have immortality, but well, it has a pretty pure message, and it's pretty good, pretty good. Nowadays, using modern morality, he would have told the master that he's an imbecile, and he would have let him to die. Nowadays, sadly, there's no respect for the elderly. Nowadays, something extremely sad. In Italy and Argentina, there is. Trust me. Here we don't buy shit. I guess. Except for the economic shit. In the case of economic shit, not me, but a lot of the population. But besides that, in terms of morality, respecting your parents, your grandparents. In the case of the master here, he would represent your grandparents. It's a nice message. Nice message. Pretty well done. The fact that the final boss was always farting was a nice touch, I must say. Though. Alright. Let's see if I cannot skip the credits. Well, I usually don't do it anyways. Not with my keyboard, not with my joystick, but well. I usually don't do it anyways. So, we've got plenty of games to cover next year. I mean, next year in well, I would say I would return on January 16. So in 1 month, we have a lot of things to cover next year. An updated tour of the Nintendo 3DS. Oh, and we can keep... I wonder if I consult the sensei again, if he won't be dead. Alright, so you can keep playing. Let's see. Let me save. 39 out of 64. 39 out of 64. 30 lives. Black belt, you can keep playing. I want to see if the sensei is alive. Sorry, I need to. Let's see. Well, I know he's still spirit animation here.
Back to the moon surface.
That's some...
Come again? What?
That's some shitty lay...
Can't hear.
That's some shitty development. They should have ensured that the sensei has a different skin since he was revived. Oh well. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Back in the sixth generation, those things weren't that important, I guess. Well, we had one crash overall throughout all of the game. We could beat the final boss. As you could see, you can keep playing and get the final belt if you... In case you want to keep playing, I highly recommend the game for those who like speed runs, due to the fact that you can repeat all of the levels, but in a speed run fashion. So yes, pretty much. Now we'll do the final analysis. We have... It's taken to finish the game. It took us today 1 hour and 36 minutes. So we'll get to the final analysis of iNinja, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to the final analysis. As I've said, for those of you who are watching this as a YouTube VOD, this will be our last analysis of the year. We'll return in January 16, in a month. But the YouTube channel will continue receiving updates. And as I've said before we begin the analysis, I hope you all have a great holiday. I know that a lot of you watch all of these as YouTube VODs. In case you watch this as a Twitch VOD, this will be uploaded in... You'll be watching this a week after it was originally... After I originally streamed it some seconds ago. So, we begin, ladies and gentlemen. A pretty short game, so the analysis will be rather short. It won't take us more than an hour. Usually the analysis, you know that they take me 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. But this one was a rather short game. Even shorter than Super Mario 64, just so you have a quick reference. And let us begin with all of the features that iNinja has to offer. We begin with the gameplay category of the analysis. And regarding this category, probably the most important category, because consider that this is a 3D platformer, as I've said, in the same vein as Super Mario 64, Jak and Daxter, especially Ratchet and Clank. It has a lot of similarities in terms of the physics to Ratchet and Clank, in terms of the theme as well. It has that space vibe that Ratchet and Clank always combines with some more traditional sections, but there are also a lot of anti-gravity sections there as well. So, the gameplay. The first thing that we cannot ignore, as I've said, it will be a rather short analysis, 1 hour, but it will be more than enough to describe everything that the game has offered us in these previous 6 days of gameplay total. Alright, the first thing that we cannot ignore. It has a deeper combat system than most 3D platformers overall. Think about Super Mario 64, as I've said. Think about Jak and Daxter. Think about Ratchet and Clank. Think about Sly Cooper. Think about, in the case of Microsoft, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, I don't know, any 3D platformer that you can cameo elements of power. That one is a Conquer Bad Fur Day, all of those. It has a deeper combat system when compared to most 3D platformers. Why? Because the ninja can perform the basic attack, but it can also lift enemies to break their guard. In that sense, the enemy variety is pretty interesting in this game, because the amount of They have some kind of horns on their caps, and that indicates the level of the enemy ninja. So yes, basically we have different enemies, some interesting enemy variety, and as I've said, besides performing the basic attack with that we would get, for example, in Ratchet and Clank, pretty similar to Ratchet and Clank, and besides the jump attack that you also have in Ratchet and Clank with the wrench, you can lift enemies to break their guard, and most of the time you'll need to do it, which is a pretty interesting mechanic that they took from, I presume, Devil May Cry, because this is Namco, a Japanese company, and they all have kind of like Devil May Cry as a as a pretty huge reference in terms of that. So a pretty positive point. The rest of the aspects is that you have four special abilities that you progressively unlock as you progress through the game. The Ninja Berserker that you just saw, the Ninja Revival that you usually see me using, but you also have the Ninja Shuriken and the Ninja Thunder that I think I never used. I should have tried it, in fact. It probably kills all enemies on screen or something like that. The Ninja Shuriken, you get on top of the Shuriken and you can simply move and you automatically damage enemies. And the Ninja Berserker increases your damage a bit and recovers health. The Ninja Revival just regains, makes you regain a bigger amount of health. So, plenty of options there. The combat is deeper than most 3D platformers, but I wouldn't say it's deeper than Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter, due to the fact that, for example, maybe a bit deeper than Jak and Daxter, but not Ratchet and Clank. Why? Because of the fact that in Ratchet and Clank you have dozens upon dozens of weapons that completely change the gameplay. So, but it's deeper than Super Mario 64. So, good. That is a middle ground between, in terms of the depth of the combat, not the overall quality, between Ratchet and Clank and Super Mario 64. In terms of the gameplay. Then, of course, in terms of the content, Super Mario 64 it's probably 100 times bigger than this game. That's the thing. The main issue that you'll see that I complain about once we get to the level design category of the analysis. Back to the gameplay. So, lift enemies, non-basic attack, special abilities. You got the special jump attack that you see in Ratchet and Clank with the wrench. It's also implemented here in a pretty similar fashion, but it's extremely precise. And it has a pretty cool animation, which is the one that is displayed all the time, that you split the enemy in half. It's amazing, it's a pretty well executed animation, but we are talking about the gameplay mechanics. It's exact, you need to be precise, it forces you to be precise. So, yes, it's interesting that they created a much deeper gameplay system than most, a much deeper combat system. But a 3D platformer isn't exclusively composed of the combat system, but also the platforming that it has. The thing with this game is that a lot of it kind of like all of the sections have their own gimmick. And when I say their own gimmick, I'm not referring to the level design, which we'll get to soon, but to the fact that sometimes you need to use the grapple hook to do some jumps. You have to use the hover jump with the sword. You have to do a combination of both. You have to do the pendulum thing that you go from one side to the other and then do a double jump and something. It makes a good combination. The problem is that most of a lot of the levels in this game aren't purely platforming levels. It has a decent amount, but they are not all platforming levels. So they could have, I think there was a lot of potential there that they didn't exploit at all, because with more platforming levels, it would have been incredible, because as I've said, the combat the core combat gameplay mechanics and the core platforming gameplay mechanics of the game, they are both, and now I include the platforming, they are both pretty well executed. They are pretty well executed. The platforming, for example, we also have the platforms that they expel wind up, and you kind of like float and go from one platform to another. There was a level that had kind of like a sequence of several of those hover jumps, one after the other. So yes, pretty much. It's incredible that the game has such a perfect and precise platforming core gameplay mechanics and such incredible and perfect fighting gameplay mechanics. You can even do the backslash. It's pretty difficult to do. You can also crawl walls in the same fashion as a ninja. There are some stealth sections as well, which are the most difficult because of the detection range of the enemies. So yes, pretty much in terms of the gameplay mechanics, I cannot complain, because when compared to traditional 3D platformers, this game is above average. And I suspect, I deduce, that's the reason why a lot of the Metacritic reviews of this game are extremely positive about it, because the core combat and platforming mechanics are above average when compared to Super Mario 64, when compared the classic. Consider that also that Super Mario 64 was a beacon, was kind of like the game that partially fixed 3D gaming. So it's not a fair comparison. It was released back in 1998. I'm just using my memory if I remember correctly. I think it was a bit earlier. Could it be 1996? I don't remember. But well, it was a beacon. It was kind of like the one that saved 3D gaming partially. The one that truly did it was Ocarina of Time with the camera, because it fixed the 3D camera. But yeah, if we compare it to Super Mario 64, this one has above average both combat and platforming mechanics, right? And it's natural. It's natural because this game was developed a generation after Super Mario 64, so it's a natural evolution. It feels so similar in terms of the controls to Ratchet & Clank, specifically to Sony platformers, to the classic trio of Sony platformers of the PS2. I'm referring to Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, and Sly Cooper. The controls, the graphics, everything feels exactly the same. The physics even feel the same. I would even go as far as to say that they use the same engine. So, and the engine of those three games and everything, it was extremely smooth and amazing. The work of Mark Cerny, if I'm not mistaken, when he improved Jak and Daxter 2 when compared to the first game. So yeah, just to have some quick comparisons, this game should be compared to those, to Ratchet and Clank, to Sly Cooper, and Jak and Daxter, because of the incredible similarity in terms of the physics and the mechanics. Right. So in terms of the gameplay, I would say I have nothing to complain about. The gameplay mechanics are perfectly implemented. The belt system, the progression and which increases your health bar, and the blade and the sword, the fact that you use different swords as you progress through the game, they are incredible because they increase your damage and your health bar, as I've said, with the belt and the sword, respectively. So yes, pretty well implemented. It's not as complex as Ratchet and Clank, but it's more complex than 3D platformers that copied Super Mario 64. Like, for example, there isn't such an in-depth combat system in Crash Bandicoot, just to have a reference, or Spyro the Dragon, or Medieval, just to have a reference. In the case of Nintendo, Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, the ones that I mentioned. The same goes for Conquer Bad. If you analyze the gameplay systems, the combat system specifically of 3D platformers of the 5th generation, the Nintendo 64, and the PS1, here we can clearly see that this game belongs to the 6th generation, not to the 5th generation. There's a clear progress there. So nothing to worry about. Pretty much inside of the frame of the 6th generation, it perfectly fits there, alongside the ones that I mentioned, alongside Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, and those. Blinks, for example, pretty similar to Blinks on the original Xbox, just so I don't refer to only to Sony games. In the case of Nintendo, in the GameCube, for example, yeah, we had Super Mario Sunshine, yeah, pretty much. So yes, there you have another reference. In that sense, gameplay, perfect, nothing to worry about. It's pretty well developed, and I would say that they put a lot of care into that. The animations when you kill enemies, the impact of the blows, it feels amazing when you split the enemy in half. So yeah, pretty well done. The enemy variety, as I've said, they changed the gameplay mechanics. We have the dogs that kind of like shoot those fireballs. We have the ninjas that kind of like have rocket launchers and shoot you missiles. We just had that Imperial Guard that I don't understand why they didn't include that enemy variety before. Well, because it's meant to be the Imperial Guard, but well, they should have kind of like just changed the skin of the enemy. I don't know. They could have used that enemy a bit more, because you only face those enemies in the last level. The sphere that shoots the lasers, the turtles, and the special bosses that, as you could see, we had a lot of boss fights in the air that are unique to this game. A lot of incredible ideas. The boss fights, as for the boss fights, they all changed the genre, as I've been mentioning. The first one is a punch-out boss fight, the first boss. The second one is like a Star Fox boss. The third one is a classic Ratchet and Clank, kind of like turret-based level, in which you just have a turret and you shoot the boss. The fourth boss, which is the right hand of Odor, and Odor, I think the two final bosses are the best. It perfectly implemented, amazing. I love their gameplay mechanics. I would say that they are a bit easy, but well, they weren't kind of like brain dead easy. It's a 3D platformer. We cannot ask for something extremely complex, though there have been examples. For example, yeah, I remember Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet and Clank 3 wasn't that difficult, but for example, well, in the case of Banjo-Kazooie, they it was a bit exaggerated. The final boss, Grunty, that one is pretty tough, with a lot of epic mechanics. Arguably more difficult than Super Mario 64. Pretty legendary. I finished Banjo-Kazooie on the Xbox 360, and it's amazing. So yeah, pretty much, as you can see, I love the 3D platforming genre. The gameplay mechanics, nothing to complain about. You'll probably enjoy it. It's a bit bare bones. You kind of like feel that the bosses could have been much harder. They could have been longer or whatever. They could have had better introductions, I don't know, but yeah, pretty much during the 6th generation this was a standard, so I think it's fair to say that the gameplay didn't have any huge mistakes. It was pretty well executed. Technical, in terms of the technical quality of the game, I played the PC version. You also have the GameCube, PS2, Xbox versions of the game. The PC version, it's amazing that they created a 3D platformer that runs at unlocked frame rates and unlocked resolutions. So yes, the game works at 144 refresh rate, 1440p. The PC version, you can grab it on Steam. Highly recommended, I guess, in terms of the technical aspect. That's the frame rate and the resolution. Perfect, nothing to complain about. In terms of the graphical effects, pretty well executed as well. If you've been paying attention, the backgrounds, I've been paying attention. The backgrounds have a lot of that amazing combination of 2D environments with 3D objects, pretty well executed. The hub worlds and everything, pretty well done in that sense. The graphical effects are amazing. When you split enemies in half, it's the best part. They did include blood in the game. Pretty smart strategy to have the ESRB qualification down because the game was meant to be played by kids, I guess. And yeah, pretty much in terms of the technical aspect of it, it could have looked a bit better because I guess Ratchet and Clank looks a bit better, but I also need to consider that I played the remastered versions on the PS3, the trilogy, so probably the remastered versions. I don't know if they touched something, but well, what are you gonna do? Uh, it looks exactly like those games, so also nothing to complain. It's a pretty standard game in terms of the technical and the gameplay. As I've said, gameplay is a bit above average, but the technical aspect of it, the graphical effects, everything, it follows exactly Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, and that was pretty much the average, exactly. Like, the lasers are pretty well done. It has a lot of interesting graphical effects. So I would say, once again, due to the fact that the frame rate is unlocked and you can play the PC version at such quality, I would say that because of that, because of how old the game is, it's from 2003, something like that, it's above average because I cannot play Ratchet and Clank at 144 refresh rate, like the original trilogy. The only ports I have, as far as I remember, the only ports that exist are the PS Vita trilogy. The PS Vita trilogy here, that is amazing. You can play the 3 Ratchet and Clanks on the go, the remastered ones, and the PS3, which is the one that I actually played, the PS3 version. But then, and the original, the remake on the PS4, you can also play, but not 2 and 3, and pretty much you are missing out on a lot without the third one. The second one you can skip it, but second one is a bit stupid. The best one is the first one and the third one of the original trilogy. Then on the PS3 there were a lot of amazing Ratchet and Clank games that nobody remembers and nobody cares about, and I love them, and that always gets on my nerves. But well, so I would say that because of the fact that this one I can play at 144 refresh rate when compared to Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Cooper, and I don't know, Conquer Bad Fur Day, or Super Mario Sunshine, above average as well. So good. Now I wanted to be extremely explicit about this. Above average gameplay, above average technical aspect, extremely below average level design. Why? The game doesn't have level variety. It has only 3 to 4 levels per world. You have 6 worlds, if I'm not mistaken. Wait. See, yeah, 6 worlds. And the last one is just 2 levels with the boss fight, so I'm being generous. So and the second one, 3, yeah, I was even a bit generous. 3 worlds average, and the 6 worlds. So yeah, if you compare that to Super Mario 64, which was released, as I said, a generation before this game, it's simply not enough. In the case of Ratchet and Clank, same story. Ratchet and Clank is huge. It can take you some days to finish it. Some of the levels feel even open world. In the case of Jak and Daxter, it's extremely long. My favorite is Ratchet and Clank, but Jak and Daxter is pretty long. I finished the first Jak and Daxter and all Ratchet and Clank games on the PS2. So I played all of them on the PS3, the HD collections. But in the case of Jak and Daxter, I never played the second one, which is a pending dev that I have, because I heard that they made it a bit more open world. But well, level design of iNinja, it could have had more levels, but the problem is that it has a lot of coins. It follows the philosophy of Super Mario 64 of repeating the same level several times with different objectives to get more stars, in this case ninja coins, to kind of like unlock the rest of the game. Pretty much it follows the classic structure. Ratchet and Clank is a bit more cinematic oriented. This one and the first Jak and Daxter, they both follow iNinja, and the first Jak and Daxter, they follow the classic structure of Super Mario 64, even if they were released generation before, after Super Mario 64. They are like Super Mario Sunshine in that regard, I guess. That you have to replay the same stage several times. So that's okay. That's okay. It's a classic gameplay mechanic if you have a lot of level variety. That's the key issue with this game, and the reason why, as I've said before, just as I understand why some people awarded it 10 out of 10, because of the above average complexity of the combat gameplay mechanics and the platforming sections of it, I can understand why some people awarded a 0 out of 10, because of the huge lack of level variety. 3 levels per world is just way too low, even for the standard of the 6th generation or even the 5th generation. They probably ran out of development time, they probably ran out of budget, it always happens. There's one thing that I should highlight, which is probably the reason behind this, which is the fact that Namco, nowadays, you know that there are no games developed under the seal of Namco, but rather Bandai Namco. That's because during the 6th generation, precisely the generation in which this game was released, Bandai merged with Namco, or Namco merged with Bandai, and they formed Bandai Namco. So yes, pretty much if you play old games, you'll realize that the Bandai seal is kind of like a red square with Bandai kind of like separately. A lot of old school games from the 5th generation have that seal that I remember out of the top of my head. And then here this one has kind of like only Namco. By the way, there was a pretty good exclusive on the original Xbox called Breakdown. It's a first-person action game, pretty forgotten, exclusive of the original Xbox, precisely developed by Namco, if my memory serves me right. So yeah, pretty much because of that, I presume that they ran out of development time, or Namco gave this development studio Orgonos, which is actually the developer, Namco is the publisher. They gave them a pretty tight and limited budget, and that's probably the reason why this game doesn't have more levels, because it's a waste to have such good combat gameplay mechanics, such advanced combat gameplay mechanics for a 3D platformer, such advanced platforming interactions, platforming gameplay, such advanced platforming gameplay for a game that has such a low gameplay, a low level variety. That's the key issue. So we have 2 categories, gameplay and technical, that are above average, slightly above average. They are not perfect, but the level design is totally below average by a huge margin. So it will be an interesting mix that we have to address. So speaking about addressing things, let's address the elephant in the room. You have to repeat those levels with different level design mechanics. For example, they will be speed runs, they will be I don't know, killing all of the enemies, I don't know, performing specific objectives, achieving specific objectives that you never achieved. For example, yeah, the ball, for example, sections that you never did in the first place when you first played the game. And there are a lot of monkey ball sections in this game. You also have the challenges. Once you complete a world, those will help you, pretty short challenges. Those will help you collect the coins that you need to unlock the rest of the game and get to the final boss, just like I did. So a lot of monkey ball sections, a lot of turret sections. there were these sections in which you have to guide a missile until you destroy a door to progress through a level. Some of the levels are pretty long. That's something positive in terms of a level design. And enemy variety is not the best. Could have been better. So yeah, pretty much what this game only lacks. It's a shame because it only lacks level variety. Above everything else, level variety rather than repeating the same levels several times. Because if I remember correctly, that Super Mario 64 was much longer and it had many more levels. It had kind of like 120 stars, something crazy like that, and this one has only half of them, and they involve repeating the same 3 levels per world all over and all over again. So level design is kind of like the main. Clearly, we can identify level design, or at least I can clearly identify it as the main flaw of this game. And they didn't need to do anything else. They just need to add more worlds, because even if they are three levels per world, if they added more worlds, kind of like instead of 6, it could have been something. Yeah, it would have needed to be something like 15 worlds or something like that. Instead of 6. Well, not 15, 10. With 10 worlds, they could have gone away. It would have added a lot of level variety, pretty much. Even if they added only 3 levels per world, we are talking about 10, so it would have been 30 rather than the low level. I don't want to say a number because some of them have more than 3 and others less than 3, so it won't be exact. But well, let's do an average: 6 worlds, 3 levels each, 18 levels total that you have to constantly repeat several times. You have to repeat them 3 times. I think the second world had plus the challenges, a bit more than 18, 20, let's say. Well, there were 25. Let's be generous, 25, because we have 1 challenge, 2 challenge, 3 challenge, 4 challenges. Yeah, but 22. It doesn't reach 25. A bit above 20 levels. That's just way too low. Only 20 levels for a collectathon 3D platformer. It's just way too low. Even if you have a lot of levels, if you repeat them, they are the same environments. So it actually doesn't completely change. So that's the main issue with this game. The core issue of this game, I think we all agree, it's this one if you've been paying attention. Right. As for the rest, enemy variety is also a problem. It's basically the same enemy with different colors. I like that they changed the mechanics, kind of like the ones with several horns in their caps. You have to, as I've said, lift them and kill them in the air. The boss enemies that you do that kind of like crazy anime style fight in the air, ninja anime style fight in the air. It's a weird addition, but I think they abused it. Enemy variety is also not good. So level variety and enemy variety are the 2 worst parts of this game. Gameplay and technical, above average so far. Grandeur, as I always mention, the grandeur. How the ambience, story, the plot, how the plot, ambience, soundtrack, and everything, how the overall ambience of the game impacts on the player. Well, we have to say that the game does have a lot of personality. And by a lot of personality, I mean that the game is unique. It chooses to have that crude, dark humor. For example, the sensei dies kind of like in the first 3 seconds of the game. The sensei dies, and it has that crude and dark humor. For example, the final boss, you could see that it was farting all the time, etc. But in the end, it has a pretty happy ending, as you could see. It doesn't have an overly complex story at all, but I think what it had, I mean, it's a 3D platformer. The grandeur aspect of it won't be essential like in an RPG game, like in I don't know, in God of War, in Gears of War, in The Legend of Zelda. Well, pretty much, um, pretty much they choose a pretty interesting. They designed a pretty interesting and amazing protagonist. The sensei, the characters act according to their personality. They act cohesively according to their personalities. The soundtrack is pretty good, though I mentioned that it's weird to hear kind of like hip hop style and techno style music in a game which is about ninjas, but it's about futuristic ninjas in space. So I get the overall idea behind it. Um, so it's pretty similar to Ratchet and Clank in that sense. The music, it feels like Ratchet and Clank even. So I can get what they were trying to do. Pretty well done. The sound of the blade when you split enemies in half is amazing. The sound is pretty well executed. As I've said, I cannot judge the plot of a 3D platformer because it's not meant to have a plot. It's a genre that is not meant to have a plot. But the soundtrack design and everything, the ambience is pretty well executed. The robots and everything, the bosses are pretty epic. The final boss is pretty well designed. It probably took some time to design it. The designs are not as good as in Crash Bandicoot, I'll say, or Ratchet and Clank, but those are kind of like top notch. They didn't go for the classic mascot style. Pretty interesting. They went kind of like similar to Super Mario, kind of like controlling a human. And yeah, pretty much well executed, pretty well executed. I cannot complain about it. It could have been better, I guess, but they went for a classic style. So yes, yeah, in terms of the grandeur, pretty well done. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I'm not gonna say it's about average. It's pretty much the average, plain and simple. Jak and Daxter had, for example, better. So yeah, average, nothing to highlight. The soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is good. As I've said, they went for a techno style music. Um, and they are pretty well designed. But well, the plot, the ambience, yeah, pretty well done. Nothing. It's a pretty standard 6th generation 3D platformer in that sense. It's the quintessential 3D platformer of the 6th generation. A lot of technology. I noticed that a lot of 3D platformers from the 6th generation have a lot of technology in them. That's something that is a common denominator of them all. Innovation. Innovation. This category is important in the case of this game because, as I've said, this game does have above average combat gameplay mechanics. It has a lot of speedrun sections. Those are the positives. The negatives, it's pretty much a Mario 64 clone in the sense of the structure of the level design, in the sense of the overall I forgot about the grandeur. I love the ending. In terms of the story, if there's something I have to positively highlight, is the ending. Pretty well done. I loved it. It's a good message. Besides, as I said while I was while the credits were rolling, innovation. The gameplay system, the combat system, it's good that they combined a more hack and slashy. It's new that they combine a more hack and slashy gameplay system that improves upon the base of Ratchet and Clank, as far as I can see. I think it directly improves upon Ratchet and Clank, which is kind of like the base, the mold of all of the combat system in this game. So that's innovation, pure innovation. The backslash, the precise jump attack in Ratchet and Clank is not precise. It's kind of like area of effect. Those are those subtle details that you need to pay attention to when you are talking about the innovation, the new gameplay mechanics, how the game contributes to the 3D platforming genre with new elements. So yes, basically the belt system in which you increase your health bar, and the sword system in which you increase your damage, Those were present in Ratchet and Clank, so we cannot count them, but we can include as innovation, though we had to, the fact that this game is probably a speedrunner's heaven, and that's something that you don't get in Ratchet and Clank a lot, for example, or in Jak and Daxter, or in Sly Koopa, or 3D platformers of the 6th generation in general. The fact that it has a lot of speedrunning sections or killing all enemies, it combines kind of like a bit of the flavor of the hack and slash genre, something like Devil May Cry, in those levels in which you have to complete them by killing all enemies or collecting all red coins, similar to Super Mario. It grabs from different genres and it combines them all, but separately. So it's not innovation; it's more like a mix of them. So yeah, the biggest innovation is in the improved gameplay upon Ratchet & Clank, which isn't a lot at the end of the day. It's a traditional game. The boss fights having different genres, it's an amazing combination, I guess, but being an amazing combination doesn't make the game innovative in that sense. So, the positives, the combat, as I've said, it's an upgraded version of the mold provided by Ratchet & Clank, in that sense. In terms of the melee combat, then Ratchet & Clank has ranged combat, and that makes it superior, but in terms of, strictly speaking, melee combat. Then you have the shurikens and the darts, true, but the fact that they are collectible through the level and you don't start with 10 shuriken, I think it was a mistake. I would have included them right at the beginning and made the game more difficult accordingly. My 2 cents. Why? Because otherwise the player doesn't even use the shurikens most of the time in the game, which is a shame because it looks like an interesting mechanic. And as I've said, the biggest flaw, the level design. Taking all of that into account, without anything else to say, the boss fights, as I've said, they all change the genre. The fact that you have to repeat the levels to get the different stars, in this case the ninja coins, with different, belonging to different, changing the genre of the, not changing the genre, changing all of them, changing the mode of the game, doing a speed run, killing all of the enemies, grabbing all of the red coins, doing I don't know, monkey ball style challenges. Yeah, in some of them they change the genre, in some of them they just change the objective variety. So yes, pretty much all of the things considered, the game doesn't innovate a lot as well, except for the things that I've been highlighting. So it's also average in terms of innovation. So, as I've said, the gameplay above average, technical above average, level design extremely below average. Besides, the level design has another thing that is way too simplistic. Some of the levels are way too short, others are way too long. It feels like they crammed a lot of level design ideas without any kind of pattern. It's the part that feels the most inconsistent for the taste of someone who has played a lot of 3D platformers. Without a doubt, if you played a lot of 3D platformers, if you are a veteran like most of you on the channel are, you'll probably feel it. You'll most probably feel it. The grandeur, as I've said, typical 3D platforming story, and innovation, I would say slightly below average, while gameplay and technical slightly above average, and level design is the worst part. With all of those things considered, and using, and please bear with me, a strict qualification system, kind of like the Gaming Press only awards 8s, 9s, and 10s, and as I've said, for me, as I always say, that for me those are pretty good games. Thing that I awarded the base version of Hellgate London a 7 something. Of course, the modded version is a 10 out of 10. But also, Dungeon Siege 3, I think I awarded it a bit above 8, something like that. So for me, an 8 is a pretty good game. So in the case of this one, it is a good game. I think there's a lot of it has a lot of value. There's a lot of enjoyment to be had from this game. If you like 3D platformers, I enjoyed my walk through the game, my gameplay through this game. You'll probably love it. You'll especially love it if you like speedrunning, because it has a lot of hardcore and tough speedrunning sections. The game's difficulty is kind of like split for the completionists. Like, if you play the game like I did, it will feel easy. But if you want to complete all of the challenges, it's clearly split. It'll be extremely difficult. The speedrunning sections will be extremely difficult. I did some of them in the previous stream, not in the previous one, in the one that we did the other week, not the previous week, but the other week, and they were pretty tough. There's a huge bump in difficulty, so the game does have a challenge mode. In that sense, we have to address that if you want to complete the game 100%, probably the level design won't feel bad. It will feel pretty good, and I'm taking that into account. Even though I didn't 100% complete the game, that if you play, but even if they are recycling the same levels, the fact that the objectives will be much harder will add a lot of replayability if you want to get all of the coins until you reach the legendary belt and everything, and probably unlock the alternative ending and everything. But for those of you who just want to get to the campaign, you'll feel like it was lackluster. If you are a completionist, especially, this game is for you. If you like speedrunning and 100% completing the objectives of a game, even if you have to repeat the levels, you'll probably be used to that, and you'll probably appreciate the added challenge a lot. That's why I understand all of the 10s that this game has on Metacritic. So, considering that it has a lot of hidden replay value, please consider that. We need to say that the game, as I've said, it has a lot of hidden replay value, and because of that hidden replay value, I'll award it, and I will agree with most of the Metacritic scores that are around a 7. I'll say a 6.5, probably 6.7, a bit below 7. I don't think it gets to a 7, but those are technicalities at this point. If you want the usual qualification system that I use instead of the numeric one, it would be a C plus close to a B, because as I've said, recycling the level design over and over again, I understand that for speedrunners, completionists, and those who 100% complete games, it will feel like heaven. This game will probably feel like heaven. But still, even so, Super Mario 64 does it. Kind of like you can finish the game with 60 stars, and then you can have other 60 more stars until you reach 120. So even so, Super Mario 64 does it better one generation before this game. That's mainly the reason why I cannot award this game a 7 or a B, because of the fact that Super Mario 64 did it a generation before, better, in a better way, with more content, without so much recycling of the levels. If you're looking for a hardcore challenge, this game, if you liked getting all of the stars in Super Mario 64, this game was made for you, because you'll probably, in your head, ignore that main issue with the level design, because you are in for the gameplay, which is the strongest part that the game has. So you'll probably enjoy the core gameplay mechanics that the game has, with the speedruns, with the monkey ball sections, with the most hardcore sections of collecting all of the coins, killing all of the enemies in a level, as I've said, doing the speedruns. So you'll enjoy that specific part of the gameplay that you get to once you finish the main game. So yes, 100% recommended for any of you. Any of you who got 120 stars in Super Mario 64. For any of you, were they 120 or 150? I don't remember right now. I think they were 120. For those of you who are completionists or speedrunners or you like completing games, as I've said, iNinja is certainly completely recommended because you'll enjoy the part of the game which is the strongest and most polished aspect it has. If you like something like Super Mario Odyssey or Super Mario Galaxy, the style of Super Mario Galaxy, though that one was amazing all around, so it's not a good example. If you like something like Psychonauts, if you like something like, I don't know, Voodoo Beans, it's a pretty good platformer from the year 2005. If you like those and you don't want to collect them all, this game will have the shortcomings that I mentioned, especially the level design and recycling the same levels over and over again. That if you don't want to do the challenges, it'll be a huge hit that the game has. Also highly recommended if you enjoyed Banjo-Kazooie out of all of them, because this game is pretty similar in that sense to that one. Kind of like it forces you to do the special challenges to get the most of it. So, and Banjo-Kazooie, I think it was the most difficult out of all of them, pretty much. So yes, there you have it, people. 6.5, above average, I would say. It's a good game. You can enjoy it. But as I've said, the insane amount of recycling and how short it is will probably discourage some people from playing it. Good game. I'm always happy that I play them, whether they are bad or not, if you ask me. So this definitely wasn't a bad game. Please don't misunderstand my words. It was a pretty good game. It was just that, as I've said, Super Mario 64 did achieve the same formula a generation before it, right? So, and with more variety. That's the idea. So yes, pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've had a great time with this final section of with this final stream of iNinja, with all of the series that we did this year. We are closing the year. I wanted to, with iNinja, with this small game. We'll begin on January 16. We'll return, as I've said. Stay tuned. Subscribe, please, to the YouTube channel in case you want to see more videos from me, because I'll continue uploading throughout the summer, just without my face and my commentary. Of course, they won't be analysis if I cannot talk, but you'll have plenty of interesting uploads during the summer. In my case, the summer. For you, it's the winter. I know that for you, it's the winter. During the winter. So yes, please enjoy your holidays with your loved ones and your families. Hope you had a great time this year, that you enjoyed Hellgate London, Warhammer Mark of Chaos Battle March, the special MOBA showcase, Outrun, and all of the games that we, Dungeon Siege 3, of course, and all of the games that we played this year. So, hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great year. Let's hope that the next one is always better than the previous one. Let's hope that 2024 is better than this one, always. Enjoy your holidays. Try not to get drunk, by the way. Always try not to get drunk. But because a lot of people in Christmas and New Year's Eve, they get drunk. So, yes, pretty much. And celebrate the holidays and everything, and we'll see each other. You can check out the YouTube bots, but you'll see me once again with the cam, and my analysis will continue on January of next year, in a month, pretty much. So I'll enjoy my holidays, you'll enjoy yours. So I hope you have some amazing holidays, and see you all next year. As I've said, sad news at the end of the year, that E3 will be no more, but well, as you can see here, I've been working on restoring E3. I'm compiling all of the E3s, because if it's not coming back, I want to have them right here. I am doing a compilation. It's difficult to find footage of the best quality, but I want to keep those to myself, right? So I want to keep those. Maybe someday we can kind of like on June or July, on June, the date of the E3, we can celebrate the E3 kind of like as it used to be. I grab a random one from 1995 to 2017. I know there was one in 2018, but it was shitty. I think they ended, the true E3s ended in 2017. So we can do that. I think we'll do that because that's a good tradition that we shouldn't lose in the gaming industry just because of Jeff Keighley and the rest of the degenerates. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. See you all next year in a month. Have some great holidays and never stop playing, people. It's a great hobby that has a lot of unique features that as I've said, you don't find them anywhere else, right? So enjoy some games. I'll enjoy mine. See you all next year. Hope you had a great time with my streams. See you all on January.